Connor Rogers and I mean, look at him wearing his, you wore your
Jackets are done.
Well, yeah, you wore like your Masters golf shirt over here. We're going to make fun tomorrow of Shanahan and LaFleur.
I held off today.
I mean,
they're not safe tomorrow.
They wore the same jacket to the interview, like they were the Backstreet Boys. Yo, what's up? It's Chris Sims Unbuttoned. Yeah, it's Thursday. It's YouTube Live, 10 a.m. Connor Rogers is here. Yeah, he's wearing some shade of green as always. It is not going to be as fun that we're in the warmer times because, yeah, I'm not going to be able to talk about your jacket.
No, it's less to work
with. But I'm going to work with this here with, Johnny Open Collar.
Yeah, I'm slowly like migrating to the grown adult Sims wardrobe.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yes, less fun, one color, a collar.
Yeah. Less and less clothes as it gets warmer and warmer.
That's right.
Show more and more body parts for sure. That's where we are.
We might have to, talk to each other before the show so we don't pull a Shanahan LaFleur.
Well, I feel like we need to bring that up, and then hopefully if Kristen or Pete this was incredible right here how this played out. Okay, let me just tell you. First off, two knuckleheads that. I'm friends with that. I try not to bother my friends for, come on our show, come on. But again, every now and then, hey, if you got some time, we're here for 2 days. See if you can stop by. So, Monday it was like, there's too many meetings. I can't make it. I promise you we'll do tomorrow. I'll do tomorrow. And, both of them are both like, well, I'm like, hey, the show's 9 to 11. So just try it. We'd love to have you on the live part of the show. That's what we're really
show
striving
up in that
for.
window.
Right. So we go through it. They both are guaranteed. I'll be there 9 to 11. Get a text message at 8:50. I don't know what time this meeting's going to end.
Oh, boy.
We might not get there till, and they're separately texting me. We might not get there till, 10:30, 10:15. Then it gets to 10:15, and it's like I'm checking into both. Where are they at? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. These people won't stop talking. We're still in a meeting. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm on, when we're on the commercial break during the show, I'm going, well, the two idiots are going to show up at the same time. I already know how this is going to go. They're going to show up at the same time.
Which is better.
Which is better, but it's probably going to be at the very end of the show, or maybe we got to tape later on, right, and do that. So then we get to the end of the show, and, of course, they show up. There's like 3 minutes left in the show, and they show up. And I look over, and I go, what? I go, damn. I go, Fleur, you see this? We got the Masters working over here.
Did they walk together?
They walked together, and I knew Kyle already knew it was trouble. He was like, had his hands in his pocket, and he was trying to avoid eye contact with me because he knew I was going to call it out.
Yep.
So, of course, I called it out, made him laugh, and then, Florio, when we taped our thing, and we talked to him for about 25 minutes, we, of course, had some Masters jokes and all of that, too, there. So that was incredible, and that's what Shanahan gets for listening to his wife telling him to wear green.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's what happened. He explains it. He goes, my wife kind of was like, hey, I like you in green. Wear your green. And he walked into the meeting, and he went, like, I'm an idiot. I know Matt LaFleur is going to wear green every year. He's the Packer head coach. That's what he does. And it was almost exact, so we had a lot of laughs about that.
I'm almost surprised Kyle didn't, panic, take off the jacket.
Well, they owned it. They
just leaned in. I respect that more.
Yes.
Them sitting there, because right away the internet was ruthless.
100%.
Ruthless. They're like, look at these two together.
It was great, but I joked with actually them and even Florio a little bit after the interview to go like early years of LaFleur being the Packers head coach or the Shanahan 49ers. There's no way they would have done that. There's no way. But now, you're in the league. You're good. You're established. Yeah. You've been in the playoffs. You've been to a Super Bowl. You've been to the NFC Championship game, right? To where now there's a little bit more of like, I don't give a shit. I'm the man.
Yep.
Screw you, internet. Take your shots. We messed up. So what? And it's kind of funny to see that transition happen.
Do you remember Ben McAdoo's opening presser?
What do you mean? When the suit that didn't fit and a collar that was like this big? Was my first warning sign of like, uh-oh. I don't know if we got the right guy here.
Forget off the rack.
Yeah.
That was just, you only have a size 3 sizes bigger than me left?
Yeah,
well, I got to get over to the
pounds,
presser.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
That was my first. I was already skeptical about that because I was like, wait, I don't like green. You know me. That was at the times I was at Bleacher Report with you going, Green Bay's offense stinks. Yep. It's all Aaron Rodgers. And then we hire him, so I was already like, oh, no, this isn't good. And then you saw that with the outfit. It was like, oh, no, we're in deep, deep shit here in New York.
You only get one first impression as an NFL head coach. So you're right. Those guys, they've already had their, time being established that they don't care.
Or they don't. Early on, when I used to ask them to do something, or every now and then, I knew if I did, it was going to be very uptight and not our personal. And at times where they both would go, you know, I love you. I want to come on with you, but I'm afraid I'm going to get too relaxed, and then I'm going to say something because we're buddies and we've been talking.
And it's clipped out.
And then it's clipped out.
Right.
And they were worried about that. But I swear there was like a line and a demarcation in time where literally both of them were like, hey, if you want me on, just tell me. I don't give a damn anymore.
Right.
And it is cool. And I think it's also cool that everybody gets to see their personalities a little bit.
Totally agree.
You know, these are not robots. These are normal dudes who love ball. They're psycho about it. They got great personalities and great leadership skills, and that's why they're the head coaches. And it's cool to see let everybody see that a little bit.
We got the homies weighing in. J-Rod's mustache says, Chris knows how to read the breadcrumbs. The McAdoo special.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, this is an all-timer right here. It's
No.
I don't even. It's like a raincoat.
I mean, it's literally like he was like really big and he went on Ozempic like right before he got hired. It was like, let me.
This doesn't fit anymore, but I got to get to the presser.
I got to wear this.
Yeah, there's no other way.
Yeah.
J-Rod's mustache said Chris knows how to read the breadcrumbs. That's,
Did I say that?
I think he just understands the symbolism.
Okay, I might have said that.
Kate Gemma said Shano looks like he would have made a great disappointing son in that show Succession.
He does.
He is straight out of Succession cast type member.
Very, very, very good
all
one
the
there.
coaches now have caught on to like the no-show socks with the loafers.
Totally.
They're all doing it at once.
Yes. This cool, casual look.
Yeah.
I can't do it. You see it there. Yeah, they both got
It's
it
not
working.
for me yet.
No, it's not for me either. I'm traditional. If I'm going to wear the suit, I'm going to put in the
socks.
Put on the socks and put on the dress shoes. I'm more of that kind of guy. But in this setting, okay, this is one setting where I might have thought about it. You know, it's 90 freaking degrees.
True. Yeah.
You are walking around on your feet a lot, so I get it that way. I do.
The Coach GM Super Brawl that we talked about yesterday. Yeah, we got some opinions on this. Dan Patrone 6360 said, look at the Lions draft day videos when Brad Holmes hugs and chest bumps Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
He's not that much smaller than Campbell and played defensive line at North Carolina A&T. My money would be on Dan and Brad for any Coach GM combo in a Royal Rumble. I think
they're probably
they're number
that.
one.
I think so. And Brad, I feel like ever since he left the Rams and got to Detroit, maybe it's the Dan Campbell influence. I feel like he's gotten a little more. He's been lifting again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, Brad. I see your chest. I see the pecs popping out of the shirt there.
We said that about Liam Cohn throughout the season.
Definitely.
Like introductory, Liam Cohn was like, he's like kind of a big ogre, chubbier head coach.
Yeah.
Midseason Liam Cohn in the gym
started to get something.
Yes.
Well, what happens too with the head coach? They start to realize, man, I'm grinding. I need at least a 30 or 40 minutes every day to just be healthy a little and release and do that. And then when you're the head coach, they do everything around you. So, hey, I want to work out. The head strength coach is like, all right, what time? Just tell me, and I'll be there, and I'll run you through a workout.
Program.
And usually it could be 4:45 in the morning. Sometimes it could be I've grinded all day for a long time. Now it's like 5 o'clock, and I'm going to get 45 minutes in and then work the rest of the night, right? And I think there's a lot of coaches that are kind of in that little schedule time frame there.
As Dan pointed out, Brad Holmes was a college defensive tackle at North Carolina A&T.
This one right here is another good one, and we're not wrong here.
Sigh of Remorse 8537 said Adam Peters, former tight end, and Dan Quinn, former defensive tackle and wrestler.
Yes.
Biggest GM coach duo. They're in the top three.
Jersey and a Long Island guy, you know there's going to be a little chippiness there. They are. They're up there. There's no question. I forgot about them. Adam Peters is a big guy and definitely has the look of a guy that, you could go, he played football at one point in his life. And then Dan Quinn, same type of thing. And, so that's too good. That's where I don't think the coach GM brawl thing would be as good as coach quarterback. Right? There's just more variables in that. And sometimes you got the big coach with not the strong quarterback, or sometimes you got the middle of the road coach. You're like, oh my gosh, you have this quarterback. Oh my gosh, you're going to kick some butt. So I think something we got to maybe make a top 10.
Josh Allen and Joe Brady.
Joe Brady's a big dude. Exactly. My mind was actually in the same spot.
That's one of the top.
That's a new combo right there.
Yeah.
And Joe Brady's a bigger guy. People don't realize that. So yes.
Vrabel and Drake May.
Yes, exactly right. So we
there's
got
some really good ones.
We're going to have to figure this out and flush it out. That's what we do here at Chris Sims.
This could be a good post-draft project for us when we're deeper in the weeds. We got some NFL news. Kirk Cousins signs with the Raiders. I'm not going to lie, Chris. I didn't see this one coming. I didn't know if Kirk Cousins would go from more of a place where he had a better chance to play. We know Mendoza is expected at least to play right out of the gate, and he should. I don't see why he wouldn't. And, now Kirk Cousins, a well-traveled man as well.
I think he knows he's back up. I think
he's
fully
leaning into it.
Knows that. The time had come to where you've lost your starting quarterback card. You're going to have to earn it back and do that. I can understand it, too. I think the league, respects Kirk Cousins. Of course, we know that. But at the same time, I think, and, people go back and they'll say, they won, their last 4 to their last 5, something like that. If you go back and look, the stats aren't like, we won a game and he threw for 113 yards. We won a game and he threw for 180, okay? So it's not like that. I know he had the Bucs Thursday night game where there were some big plays in that one.
Was that the Kyle Pitts one?
That was the Kyle Pitts one. So, yes, that was the game I think everybody is thinking of. But I think really when the NFL evaluators looked at it, that's where they started to go, wait, Kirk Cousins smart, knows where to go with the football, yes, all of that, but at the same time, the athleticism is probably less than, for what you want as an NFL quarterback right now. The arm is definitely declining. So, yeah, he's your perfect backup. And we started to hear little rumors. McVay, he came on the Pro Football Talk Show and said,
right,
if we don't keep Jimmy Garoppolo, Kirk Cousins is an option for us, for sure. So that, Shanahan, there was always the talk if they did trade Mac Jones, that Kirk Cousins would be the guy there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, what makes sense here is Clint Kubiak worked for these guys.
Right.
So he knows what Kirk Cousins is all about. And Kirk Cousins knows, okay, if I get there, I'm going to be an offense I'm comfortable with. The Cardinals are the team I was thought maybe would make a play to be the backup too because of the same thing. Michael LaFleur is part of that whole coaching tree. Will he bring him in, do that? But, yeah, no, this is a spot where comfortable with the system, gonna be the backup for your first round pick or your first pick of the draft. And honestly, I don't think this is one where Kirk Cousins plays a little bit and then Fernando Mendoza comes in.
Doesn't feel that way.
Right? Like Mendoza's ready.
Mendoza has played a lot of college football.
And everything else, physically, mentally, just tells you he's ready to where I think he's day one starter. So Kirk Cousins is going to move his family out to Las Vegas.
Well, the mentally is pretty funny. I was saying this to you before the show, and Randy Laura in the chat points it out. Cousins and Mendoza on the same team. Ever seen the movie Twins? I mean, their personalities get compared to each other a lot.
It is charismatic dorks that own it.
Right,
okay?
They lean into it.
And I don't mean to say that to be like, I'm not trying to demean them. I'm just saying, to explain it to everybody out there. I actually like Kirk Cousins is a lot of fun to talk to. He's really real. He's going to give you great thoughts on subjects and give you good answers. Fernando Mendoza's the same way. They're robots. That's why they're good.
Right.
They can. Oh wait, okay, it's 5:20. I need to wake up. Okay, it's 5:25. I got to do this, and then it's 5:45. Now it's time to go to the office. Okay, I'm going to sit down at 6:05. Here's the checklist. I mean, that's who they are.
It's
right?
true. It's like science,
and they're made for quarterback that way, and people are going to love that. That's for sure.
Speaking of Mendoza, got to see him at the Indiana Pro Day. Were you surprised he worked out when you're already locked in as the number one pick, or because it's him, it's like no dove?
I feel like everybody does it, no matter what now.
Right.
I feel like I wasn't sure if he was going to. It's the most slam dunk number one pick ever. And then I think on top of that, I don't know if I've ever watched a pro day where a quarterback was less emotionally invested and really didn't give a damn, right? Like there was no stress on him. And I heard what he said after, where he goes, I just wanted to be out there for my teammates. I think that's the only reason he was there.
That was what I thought right away.
That's all it was.
Right.
There was no urgency.
Which is him in a nutshell.
Exactly right. A good guy, doing what's right for the team. Okay, the league wants to see me go throw. Okay, I'll do that, sure. Was it his absolute best? No, it was not. I mean, he threw the ball good. We know that. But, were there some wobbles on some of the deep throws? Okay, sure. But the big thing is what jumps out to me, even in settings like that with Fernando Mendoza, is how easily he can throw power throws. We talked about this when we broke him down. I mean, he throws in cuts that are 20 yards downfield and 20-yard out routes like most guys are throwing the 5-yard hitch route, right? It's just he's relaxed and he's like, and it's like the ball gets there in a hurry. I mean, he's really just naturally gifted that way. And because he's so big and has long arms and broad shoulders, he just doesn't have to put a lot of effort into throwing the ball down the field. That's what jumped out to me. But it was funny because I felt like he was just like, okay, all right, yeah,
lowest stakes ever.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't intense in his dropbacks or anything. He kind of just tried to go, hey, let me put the ball in a good spot, catch the ball.
Well, as we got to hear from Mendoza just on the nerves of throwing on the pro day, which I think all of us kind of doubt.
Here it comes. Any second, 3, 2, 1.
I think it's great. I think the main goal today was to serve my teammates, and I think that I was able to do that, be able to put them in a position where they're able to make plays, show what they got, and very excited for them in the future. And like I said, I'm just trying to be the best quarterback come September. So today was cool, and yeah, there's a little bit of nerves like right before, but those nerves means I'm ready, and those nerves I turn into energy towards the workout and to be a better quarterback. So in that essence, like, you know, there were nerves, but for me, it wasn't very high stakes. It was just having fun with the guys.
I mean, he knows it.
Yeah.
Which, that's
fine.
That's totally fine.
Totally.
He said that quote in a couple different places, that his goal is to be the best quarterback in September at the start of the season rather than being the best quarterback April 1st for a pro day.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you know, he did the right thing. He wanted to show his guys there. He's right about the really good ones and when I got comfortable in my life. Yeah, did I get nerves before the game? Sure, yes, of course I did. But the nerves were just more about the unknown. And then when you get out there, he is right, and I like how he used that phrase. It turns into energy, and it does. The nerves turn you into, I'm so alert. I'm seeing things, and I'm seeing things that I wouldn't see in normal life because my brain and eyes are so aware at such a level, right? So that's where, he's a special football player, and it was kind of just funny watching it back and seeing him go like, ho-hum, here's this throw. Oh, there you go. Oh, deep breath. Are you guys ready? Okay, set hut. Let's go.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You know how pitchers, their velocity alters on adrenaline from most of the time a stadium mound, where it's like in spring, why is his velocity 95? And then he gets on the mound opening day and he's pumping 99.
Right.
With a quarterback, game day adrenaline versus throwing in an indoor facility around 3% as many people.
Yeah.
Is that a real thing?
I think it is. I do think it is. I feel like when a game day, especially like in pregame warmups, I'm literally almost like, okay, calm down. Let's just be relaxed. Let's just throw the ball out there. Exactly right. Let's just throw it and be smooth and get some rhythm and get some feel. And then as you get later on into the pregame part, you start to go, okay, let me be like real for a few throws and let me really drop back with some intensity and make it like legit for just like 3 or 4 reps. I think that's the difference. Where in this one, you're kind of coming out right away where you're like, okay, we warmed up a little, but now it's time. I got to just, start cutting it loose. Now, he didn't have any pressure to cut it loose in any extent, not only because he's not the number 1 pick, but even like in other years where we all knew Caleb Williams was the number 1 pick, but I still think there was nerves and wanting to show my best between him, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Bo Nix, because they were all like, we're being compared together. And I know he might be the number 1, but I want to show everybody at my pro day that, look, I can do this Caleb Williams stuff, think about it, or even show the public, like, you guys are all think he's the king. Let me show you what I can do. And that's where Mendoza right now has nothing that threatens him that way. We're just like, hey, is Ty Simpson going to go in the first round? I mean, that's as threatening as it gets, where in other years it just doesn't play out that way all the time.
More quarterback news, and we got Brandon Mitchell in the chat weighing in on this. Definitely would like to hear Sim's reaction to the reports finally being leaked out about Jalen Hurts and his issues running the Eagles. Something Chris has been calling out for some time.
I appreciate you saying that, Brandon. Yeah, I mean, this is something that I would say for 2.5 years I've kind of been on. It happened organically. As I told you at the Combine, I had people coming up to me a lot during that, kind of going, hey, man, that stuff, you were all over this Jalen Hurts stuff. And one of those people was Jeremy Fowler, who wrote this piece for ESPN.
Yeah, him and Tim McManus.
So he was one of the group of the guys that kind of was like, hey, you were all over that story, huh? And I had no idea he was working on this here. But for me, as I think I've told the viewers a little bit, it happened to me first off just through film because of people I know and watch their offense. And I started to go, wait, hold on, we're not going to adjust this or do this, or I know this offense, I know his rules. What? They're not even doing that? So that was the first thing to me that like set me like, wait, what's going on in Philadelphia on the offensive side of the ball? And then, of course, I said some things, and you know, when you say some things in this business and you know a few people that have been there, are there, whatever else, they start to, I see them, and they go, hey, you know, I saw what you're not far off. And then slowly but surely, as the years kind of went by and it became more of a hot button topic, I had more and more people in the know kind of address me on the situation too. And then also within that was saying things and being pretty strong and, you know, very rarely got any pushback from anybody in the know, right? So all of those things led me to that. I think here's the big thing. I don't think this is any secret. I think that, you know, the NFL knows the issues here. The biggest problem in Philadelphia with an all-star offense is the quarterback. And I think this was your first time the Eagles were kind of trying to let everybody know, no. You know, what's out there is kind of real. And I feel like they did it because it's like their first warning shot. They know things have to get changed here.
I mean, listen to this quote.
Yeah.
Because I want to highlight a certain part of it. Sources say Hurts has pushed back on changes that would diversify the offense and goes off script from the game plan at times, switching to plays that haven't been installed.
Yeah.
One team source described Hurts as not always coachable, and players notice.
Yes, this goes back to A.J. Brown. Again, A.J. Brown made those comments during the year, not because he was trying to be selfish, because the whole damn locker room was going, is anybody going to call out the biggest problem on our team, or are we going to blame everybody and egg the assistant coach's house, even though it's not his fault? Okay, so to me, I do think this is the first time the Eagles are kind of like softly trying to tell Jalen Hurts, hey, things got to change here. They got to change, or we're going to make a change. And I know the Eagles have won a Super Bowl, and I understand people are going to use that. There's been a lot of quarterbacks that have won a Super Bowl that ain't worth a damn. So we got to stop always using that as an excuse. Well, he was the first in his class to win a Super Bowl. Okay, I could have put 20 quarterbacks on the Eagles that would have won Super Bowl. Sorry, they're an all-star team. Sorry. So that the point is, they're so good, they're not meeting their expectations with him at quarterback. Yeah, they did 1 year. They did. This is another team, I would tell you, they were better than the Chiefs they lost to in the first Super Bowl. They had a 10-point lead. There was lots of things they did in that game. That was one of my first warnings of, wait, the quarterback's not going to pick up this blitz or audible? Like, there's 11 guys on the line of scrimmage. Like, we're blitzing everybody. And they were just like, run the play. That was one of my first inklings of, like, things weren't right that way. But I think where the other thing here, where I think it got serious, is one, they evaluate themselves. Two, they realize, wait, we can't continue, even though we're this talented, to think we're going to move the ball being this basic on the offensive side of the ball. And I really think the thing that really was like, we need to do something here, was that nobody wanted the job.
It was alarming.
Nobody wanted to be the offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. And then you get a guy who, yes, was not on anybody's radar screen, but by all due accounts is going to be a guy that wants to go, hey, wait, I want to shift in motion and get underneath the center and do all this stuff. And I think they're probably trying to help Sean Mannion in this process a little bit to go, hey, let's start this to maybe put the pressure on Jalen Hurts to make the proper adjustments here.
Yeah, as we look here at the Eagles' offensive coordinators, obviously a lot of turnover. You go from Doug Peterson in 2020, the 2 years of Shane Steichen before he became a head coach, 1 year of Brian Johnson, obviously Kellen Moore, who has gone on to do big things, and then Kevin Patullo, who took a lot of heat last year. And nobody here is saying Kevin Patullo was perfect by any stretch of the means, but it felt like 99% of the blame pie was put on Kevin Patullo last year.
It's not fair, yeah.
And now you have Sean Mannion, who's been an assistant NFL coach for pretty much 2 years.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those where you're like, whoa, they're going to give him this job with this team right away. But again, I think the lack of options. And to like what you're saying, I think a lot of the offensive coordinators looked out there and they went, I'd love to coach that offense, but if it doesn't go good, I mean, nobody ever blames the quarterback. It's only the offensive coordinator. And let me just say this too. On top of that, here's the other defense I hear all the time. Well, he got Kellen Moore a job. No, Kellen Moore almost didn't get a job because of it. And literally, people were like, wait, was this your offense last year? He wasn't like given the job because they were like, oh my gosh, you did amazing things with the 27th ranked passing offense with Jalen Hurts, the lowest ranked passing offense to ever win a Super Bowl. It wasn't that. They were like, oh, wait, we've seen your offense in all those other years. Oh, that's your offense. Okay, yeah, I forgot. And Shane Steichen was already looked at as an offensive genius and then got looked at as more of an offensive genius and got his because they were like, most of the league was like, whoa, he made it work with Jalen Hurts, who what the people in the league would tell you doesn't play the quarterback position the right way. When anybody wants to play the Eagles, they go, if we can get Jalen Hurts to play quarterback, we're going to beat the Eagles. If he gets to run around and the quarterback draw works and he starts the backyard plays, then we're in trouble. And you could see more times than not when the game goes that way, the Eagles struggle on offense.
Yeah, I think it was, one of the alarming natures of this also was Brian Daboll going through this process, and you think that's a great place for Brian Daboll.
Yeah.
A little revenge on the Giants.
Yeah, rejuvenate your career. You're back with Saquon.
You'll be a head coach in a year.
Exactly.
And then he goes to, nothing against Tennessee. I think Tennessee is on the right trajectory.
No, but you're right.
It's a long climb for Tennessee.
Yeah.
They had a lot of money to spend, and they spent it. They got it nailed in the draft. Cam Ward, I think, is on the right path, but Cam Ward has not accomplished what the Eagles' offense has accomplished.
Exactly.
That was the first sign to me where I'm like, this is interesting.
Yes, and I think, everything we're talking about there. But, yeah, appreciate the question there, Brandon, all of that. And, it's just funny how slowly but surely this has become a thing, and people are starting to realize finally that I'm not the asshole that I claim to be at times, and sometimes I am right about some things out there.
It definitely was interesting this week reading this on the timeline and be like, Chris has been talking about that since I've been doing the show with him, and before that.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Here we are. This is far from the end of the saga with the Philadelphia offense. We're going to take our first break. When we're back, we did the top 5 edge rushers yesterday, but man, we have a lot more to get through today right after this. It's a loaded edge rusher class in the 2026 NFL Draft. Yesterday, we got through Chris's top 5. Arvell, Reese from Ohio State. Both Miami guys at 2 and 3. Ruben Bain Jr. and Akheem Mesidor. David Bailey from Texas Tech. And Missouri Zion Young at 5. But, Chris, we have a lot of honorable mentions to get through.
Yeah.
Some that could go in the first round.
Well, that to me is where I think it's interesting here is the top 5. I mean, I almost look at it and go, man, the top 5. I feel like are all going to be down in the top 20 maybe. I mean, it could fall
There's a
out
chance.
that way.
Yeah.
And then well, there'll be some other guys in here that sneak their way into it, and that's where it was hard yesterday because. I know there's some guys worthy of being mentioned in the main show and certainly didn't want to, miss out on those guys. But we got a little long-winded and we felt like, okay, we got to kick the can to tomorrow. But, I mean, right off the bat, when you talk about your guy, Malachi Lawrence, TJ Parker, Cashius Howell, of course, is a phenomenal specimen and an interesting one out of A&M. Right, we got Keldric Faulk out of Auburn, who's being talked about. Gabe Jacas out of Illinois. Right. Just before we talk him, Romello Heights, a guy that kind of caught my eye a little bit. He's interesting. Jaishawn Barham from
I'm very
Michigan.
high on this player.
I don't think you can be wrong with it.
Very high on this player.
And then we got our Mason Thomas out of Oklahoma, who
gets lost in the shuffle.
So these are all guys that I go. Every name I just named right there. I mean, would I be shocked if they all went in second round? I would not at all.
No,
I'm telling you.
This was my top 15, and they're all on there. Every guy you just said. And then some that we're not going to have time for, like Joshua Josephs from Tennessee is kind of a developmental guy.
Sure.
Derek Moore from Michigan, who's been very productive.
Yeah.
Keldric Faulk's teammate, Kieran Crawford, more of a stand-up, lighter guy than Faulk.
But has some stuff there about him.
Definitely has some talent. So this is a group that it's just loaded, like you said, Chris. I think we start with Malachi Lawrence because this is somebody that is getting some first-round heat right now.
Yeah.
He is a freak show athlete.
Yes, he is.
The production's solid, without a doubt. He just feels like the guy that the NFL looks at and goes, man, if I teach a few more things with that athleticism, he could be an absolute monster.
Right. I think he's got some wowing things that he does. He's got some wowing things, but he's got a few things, too, that – I could see a bunch of other teams go, well, that scares me, right? And we've kind of laughed. We laughed a little bit last week off air because we were talking about him going, there's kind of two different players.
Yes.
If it's a passing down, you get to see Malachi Lawrence, the freak show who plays with a crazy intensity in the pedal to the metal, where you're like, whoa, this guy can play. The problem is, if it's 2nd and 6 and it's a rundown, you get a guy that he's
10 on 11.
I don't think he really cares about this play.
It's 10 versus 11.
I mean, he's literally like, they're going to run it. I don't know. And I'm being, a little facetious, but I'm not. I mean, it looks that way when you watch it a little bit. So that's the interesting thing. But you're right. I mean, the combine was the first thing that kind of put him on my radar because I knew nothing about him before that.
I was very late to this
And
player.
then I was like, whoa, wait, he's 6'4", 253, 4'5", whoa, 33 and 5/8 inch arms, so it's almost 34-inch arms, 159 in the 10. So all that, and then you go, oh, okay, he does got a first step. Oh my gosh, whoa, his bend is every bit as good as the top guys in the draft, like we talked about with Bain or Mesidor, or on the few plays with Arvell Reese. So that's what. And then you see he's got quicks and twitch and knows how to use his hands in rushing the passer, has some of those heavy hands and can do some things that way too. So, I'm interested to see how the league views him because there's going to be, again, you could watch 30 plays and go, wow, there's 7 or 8 phenomenal ones. There's 7 or 8 just ones. And then there's another 7 or 8 or 9 where you go, what? You can't get blocked that easily on 2nd and 3rd in the run game. You're too good for that.
He reminded me of Yaya Diaby.
Yeah.
That was what I thought of right away.
Yeah.
Like super explosive takeoff, can turn the corner a little bit.
Yes.
They both have long arms for that kind of athleticism. And, you're going to have some moments, though, with Lawrence growing into hopefully being a capable run defender. He doesn't have to be great, just capable. So, Malachi Lawrence.
Yeah.
Some teams, I think, will look at him as a late first-rounder. Some teams will look at him as a more of a project player on day 2.
I think so. I think if you ask me, I think that's where it goes because I feel like the first round is either it's become a little more safe than what we've seen in years past. But there's no doubt he's one of the most gifted pass rushers in the draft. He's average versus the run. But, man, yes. I mean, if you find out he's willing to work, this is where the off the field stuff.
Totally agree.
And this is where you can go. If you do want to draft him at the end of the first round, you go, wait, I got inside info. He works. He loves the sport, right? He's willing to lay it on the line more than you think. Then that can maybe give you the confidence to go, okay, we can bring this run game stuff out of him. But yeah, really intriguing prospect and definitely one of the best pure pass rushers in the draft.
So that brings us to our next player who's very different in TJ Parker from Clemson. You were talking about sometimes teams just want a little bit more safe in round one. To me, TJ Parker's power profile is what gives him a decent floor.
I think that's it. He's one of the safer picks of the draft. I think he's one of those guys where you go, if he's a bust, he's still our starting edge guy for a long time. I do look at him and sometimes and go, I don't know. I mean, I doubt he could go first round, but if he ended up in the first round, would I think it's crazy? No.
He might.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this. There's been guys in the past, the guy, you got to help me here, the Clemson pass rusher who they took, the Bengals took, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The Kansas State pass rusher. Miles Murphy, Kansas State pass rusher that I believe is Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
I'm blanking on the name, but I'll let you do that.
It's crazy how many times the names go in and out after a draft class.
And so that right there, I would go, I think TJ Parker's better than those guys.
Oh, Felix Anadike Uzama.
I think those guys, I think he's better than those guys. Why could they go in the first round? I got less questions about TJ Parker, so that's what I'd throw out to you there. This is not so. One of the first things I wrote. He's not just some big clunky edge guy. I said the dude can run. Now I mean it's 4.68, but he's got good acceleration. So you're not looking for him to run down the sidelines and run somebody down on an 80-yard touchdown run. That's not what he is, right? So the loose, pliable, can win in awkward positions things that we talk about a lot. He's phenomenal with that. And within all maybe he's a 4.68 speed, I thought his first step was phenomenal. Like, it blew me away. I was not expecting it, to the point where I went like, he actually looks like his 1.61 10 time in the 40 on the football field, to me, looks like it'd be better than that with how he gets out. But then, he's got speed to power is impressive. And he's another one that I just throw out and go, he has no weakness. There's nothing you can look at to go, ooh, that's a real negative or that's a problem. And the thing we talked about yesterday where you go, what are his negative plays? Oh, his negative plays are he sits there in a stalemate and sets the edge. And to me, I put value in that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that he's one of those guys where he's almost a victim of his own 2024 success. He was so good in 2024. He forced 6 fumbles. I thought he looked a little twitchier. That when things fell off for Clemson this year, he didn't have the drop-off that all the guys did. He just wasn't as great. And then everybody was like, well, another Clemson guy going downhill. And it's like, no, he's still a good player. He just maybe isn't the great player people wanted him to be.
Yes.
Like, coming into the year, people wanted TJ Parker to be a top 10 pick. And now maybe he's just more of a late first rounder that's a good number 2 pass rusher, not a game-changing number 1.
No.
I mean, he's not Reuben Bain.
No.
But that doesn't mean he's not a first-round player.
No, exactly. Well, I mean, because he could be Matt Judon, Zadarius Smith. Another name I wrote down is Tuli Tuipulotu. I'm going to butcher his name. Tuipulotu.
Yeah.
I was close. Okay,
yeah, you were.
The Chargers. A little bit of that. Like, you watch the film, and you go, oh, it's not the sexiest, but then you've got to go, man, the NFL, this is going to work.
It's very Baltimore.
It's going to work, right? It's very Baltimore, right? It is that kind of guy. Because you're going to have no problems with any facet of the game. You're going to go, oh, he can handle the run game stuff. He's phenomenal at shedding blocks.
Yes.
Another guy where we talk about the instincts and the eyes in the backfield and doing all that. So that's where I love him. I wish he was a hair more explosive, okay? But no, he's more big, lumbering, powerful, and like I said, can win in those awkward positions. I really love TJ Parker. It hurt me to leave him off the list. It did. And I got to meet him a little at the combine, and he's a phenomenal person. Like, I know, and he's going to be the safe pick.
Yes.
Where maybe he does end up in the first round.
You know what I liked about him, too? Yeah. Clemson had this reputation this year of, like, they had all these big-time prospects coming into this season, and they did not have the year they wanted, and a lot of the prospects took a huge hit. And he decided to go to the Senior Bowl after that disappointing season for the program, and he was great. It's like, that's his teammate on his defensive line, Peter Woods, did not do that. And everybody at the Senior Bowl was like, damn, we forgot TJ Parker's a good player that kind of was in a not-so-great environment.
Exactly.
So I know his compete level is up there.
Yeah, that's
right?
cool.
Don't worry about
that was the first thing I heard about him was, hey, this TJ Parker had a really good Senior Bowl. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, yeah, TJ Parker, Clemson, because I didn't know a lot. And again, that's like the reverse of, we got to stop drafting the team and like all of that. it's
for better or for worse.
Exactly. We usually penalize the one that goes like you drafted the Ohio State guy high, whatever. Like we make fun of but at times, when it's negative too, we got to stop that too. It happens too much, or we put the player and blame him for obviously a bunch of systematical issues with the Clemson Tigers down there. And it didn't work out the best for him this year. But damn, he's a starting NFL edge guy very quickly in his career.
TJ Parker, boring in a good way.
Yeah.
Cassius Howell, not boring at all.
No.
Cassius Howell is one of the most polarizing players in the entire 2026 NFL draft. This guy has been a pass rush artist going back to when he was at Bowling Green in 2023. And he carried that over since he transferred to A&M for his last 2 years of college football. Some of the best pass rush win rates in the country throughout that span. Chris, this guy has every move in the bag. He's also got some of the shortest arms you will ever see for a pass rusher in the draft.
Unlike Ruben Bain, that's the one that scares you. Because it matters. It matters. You don't see enough other ways to win all the time to just go, oh, okay. No. And you see a lot of plays where he gets swallowed up by tackles and he can't get off and he can't disengage. So that scares you. Where I can go through Ruben Bain and go, you never see that. You don't. It doesn't happen. He gets off. He pushes the guy around still. It doesn't matter. So that's what you worry. I mean, his body is phenomenal. I mean, his look, first off, when you turn on the film, you just go, man, is he cut out of stone? I mean, he's perfect that way. And then right away, you see, holy shit, is he twitchy and fast.
It's
insane. It doesn't take long. This is the first play, and you go, whoa, all right, all of that's awesome. Now, the get-off is exceptional. I mean, it's exceptional. And then, of course, he's got the bend to go along with it. But there's nothing else. That's the problem. And I think what scared me and is going to scare evaluators is the opposite of the Miami guys. The better the competition, you never heard him. He kind of feasted on the poor.
I have the numbers here.
Right. And that kind of, to me, that means something there.
So when I was watching him, I did the same thing as you. I was like, okay, let's see Notre Dame, Texas, Miami from 2025. He had 64 pass rush snaps against those three teams that they always have good offensive linemen.
They know how to coach them. They got talent there.
He had 0 sacks in those 3 games, 2 quarterback hits, 4 hurries. He really didn't exist
like that way. No, he shows up in the run game. He plays hard. I do give him that.
Oh, without a doubt.
But you're right. In the pass game, which he's going to be drafted for, yes, he did not exist in those football games.
It's like, this tackle has 34-inch arms.
Yes.
I can't use my space the way I've been using it against everybody else.
Exactly. Doesn't know how to use his hands, really. So then again, this is what we're talking about. You go, if he doesn't get off really clean and get the edge, you just go, oh, I don't ever see another way he doesn't win. So he doesn't really know how to use his hands, right? Doesn't know how to really go speed to power. Doesn't know how to stab, right? And just push the guy, that inside. I'm going speed rush. Let me stab you with my inside arm and now push you back into the quarterback. So he doesn't have that in his game. His bend, like I said, is phenomenal. But, other than that, that's what you worry about. So, bend and speed alone are not just going to win it for you. And then again, I think when you add that on to not being his best against the best competition is going to make everybody have a little bit of I don't know. And, I think he still goes in the second round.
I think so, too.
Right? As the specimen he is and as explosive he is, but I don't think he's a guy that I look at to go in the first round.
I'm going to throw a name at you.
Yeah.
And the same exact role he has to play at the NFL.
Yeah.
Bryce Huff.
I'm going to look at the bottom there. There it is.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see your notes. But, that's the exact role.
Yes.
Robert Saleh brought Bryce Huff with him. He was obviously had him with the Jets. Then he brought him to the Niners. And it was 3rd and long.
Yeah.
Wide 9 or a 7.
Just go get him.
Get off the ball.
Yes, right.
Drag the tackle all the way out with you.
Totally.
And then everybody else is playing against 4.
Exactly right.
That's what he has to do.
Exactly.
Which, it can work.
Yeah.
Bryce Huff got paid a lot of money because of that.
Yes.
But it's just very role specific.
It's role specific. He'd be another guy I think that we would probably peg and go, he'd be best in a Seattle type scheme where he can just be wide, not have to worry about that.
That's very
and get
funny.
after the quarterback, right?
That's crazy.
That's what I looked at because that was the thing with Bryce Huff is hey, we love him on 3rd down, but if it's 2nd and 4, get him off the field.
Yes.
That's really what it was, and I kind of feel that way with Cassius Howell.
And Bryce Huff wasn't drafted. Cassius Howell played at A&M, so he's looked at as a day 2 pick.
There you go. And then you have the pro day he had, too. That's certainly going to help, too. Yeah, for sure.
Next guy, jumbo-sized edge, Keldric Faulk from Auburn.
Yes.
Keldric Faulk is, for different reasons than Cassius Howell, but much like Cassius Howell, projections all over the place. You'll hear about him at 20 to Dallas, all the way to the middle of round 2. He's 20 years old.
I know.
He's
That's the thing.
Absolute unit.
Yes, he is.
I thought he was phenomenal against the run.
Yeah.
I almost fell asleep watching him rush the passer.
Well, he'd be the one where if you ask me right now where I just go, what? He might go in the first round? I don't think so there. One, he's got a little bit of a awkward-looking body to me, okay? It's not like he's just naturally big, but, doesn't have much muscle that way, right? He's got a little bit of awkward legs and a look that way. But, he's a huge, easy, big man. There's no doubt. He plays all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's outside linebacker, it's D end. It's head up on the tackle. So it's not always like conducive to pass rushing and doing all that.
Absolutely.
So that's good. He is like, as we always talk about, he's got the pliable, bendable stuff. He's not some big stiff out there. That's right. But like not even close. His best pass rush plays are when he plays D tackle. You can't find good ones at D end. So that would bother me. And so he's got some speed to power, but I don't think he's got anything else. And I think that's the problem with me. I honestly think he'd be a guy in some ways where I go, I'm not sure you shouldn't just tell him to lift weights, put on some weight, and be a defensive tackle.
Without a doubt.
He might be that guy. And that's kind of what I came to. And then I wrote, well, maybe he can lose weight. And can he be a Gregory Rousseau? Something like that. Those are just things I threw out there for food of thought because I was a little unimpressed by the film, to your point here.
My problem with Keldric Faulk is it's not that he's a bad player because he's 20 and he's already a house against the run.
Yeah.
It's that as a GM, I have to trust myself to find that guy in round 4 to 5 or in the lower tiers of free agency. I can't draft that guy top 40.
No way. No way. I'm with you there, dude.
Because you take him and you're like, well, we're tougher against the run now and we're bigger up front. Okay, at cost, that's a horrible investment. He's a good player.
Yes.
But can you find, let's go through the guys we talked about yesterday, right? You think about even Mesidor and Zion Young, they do things that are worth a top 40 pick.
Totally.
Top 30 pick.
Totally.
Where it's I'm not going to go find that in the 4th and 5th round.
No.
There's some guys down the board where it's they're not Keldric Faulk, but if they're 80% of him in round 4 or 5, I'll do that investment instead.
Yeah.
That's where it hurts him.
I think you're probably right. You are probably right. He's a little bit of in the no man's land as far as how you're going to use him. I'm interested to see how the league will do that too. And, my biggest thing too, we talk about the league can change these kind of guys sometimes when they get around other alphas and D-line. They go, oh, yeah, I'm not the man anymore. Oh, my gosh, that guy's the man. What is he doing? I need to follow him. And, whoa, my coach yells at me a lot here. I'm not just like, hey, we want you to come to our school. We love you. We love you. We love you.
It's
right?
like a picture.
Yeah. So you're getting coached differently. But the other thing, too, and I'm just big in it, you got to lay it on the line. And I did not feel like he laid it on the line in physicality, right? Like where I talked about jumping in front of the train yesterday.
Yeah, with Ruben Bain.
Yeah, Ruben Bain, Mesidor, they all kind of did it. Arvell Reese does it. Oh, just run me over, but I'm going to make the tackle. Right. I felt like there was times here where I was like, wait, your arm is free, and you just kind of like, ole, go ahead, keep going, because that would have hurt if I jumped out there and had to tackle you. And I didn't love that about him either.
So the next guy, I actually ranked ahead of Faulk, Gabe Jacas.
So totally.
From Illinois.
Totally.
You talk about jumping in front of the train.
Exactly.
Oh my, that's his brand.
He is. He is. Maybe forget jumping in front. He is the train. I don't even know here. He's that way. I love Gabe Jacas is really like a lot of like a in a TJ Parker or Akheem. Excuse me.
Go.
Thank you very much there. Going through my book, I'm going alphabetical order here, so I'm like H-I-J-K.
No, when you're looking, a little background on Gabe Jacas, state champion wrestler, and when you meet him, it's like big hands, just literally looks like he sleeps in the weight room. He's been playing since his freshman year, so 4-year essential starter at Illinois. He is so business. I think I was telling you, I know a team that met with him that does very serious combine interviews. Every team has a different style. They like to kind of almost break the player. Yeah. And they were like, he's serious for us.
Yeah.
So
I think you told me that at the combine.
Yeah. I was like, he's about his business. But in
In a good way.
In a
professional way.
Great.
Yes.
You know exactly what you get with Gabe Jacas.
It shows on the football field. I mean, the first thing you notice is you go, whoa, I mean, is he the most physical edge guy in the draft? I mean, that's what it is. I mean, he effing brings it. That's the second line I write. I mean, taking on tackles, tackling, all out. I mean, he sells out. That's what you like. The strength and physicality are elite. They're elite. I am with you in your comment that I like Gabe Jacas better than I like Cashius Howell, better than
Keldric
Faulk. I do. And there's a part of me there, too, that, even with Malachi Lawrence, I understand the sexiness of the pass rush. I still go, I feel
higher floor.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Exactly right. I mean, I thought, and I write this, I mean, again, I thought him and Bain were the two most physical DNs, and then also he's never overmatched. He's another guy that I go, he never loses a play. The worst you're going to do is a stalemate, right? He's got a long, powerful stride. I think it's a little deceiving how he gets off. I think it's a little better than it maybe looks to your eye. The more you watch it, it kind of jumps out, and he is twitchy. And I had a few people be like, what the hell you mean by twitchy? I mean, twitchy, he can be like, get off me, and kind of move around in short spaces and break down and like redirect his body in a little short phone booth in a quick, explosive way to be ready for, I took out a block, get him off. Oh, I got the tackle. Oh, I had to hop around and move and do that.
That's what I mean by
twitchy. Jitterbugs, right, exactly. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of Jacas. He is an NFL starting edge guy, I think, day one, right away.
He was my favorite player in this group to watch take on pullers.
Yes.
Like when you watch pullers, usually you could tell like they know they're going to get to pull and they have a different energy in their brain. Like, I'm going to get to kill someone. Jacas would look at them and look at them as the bug against the windshield. He would murder
stop
pullers
them in their place.
Where they'd almost like kind of fold.
And just sit there and be like, whoa. That's it.
Yeah. When you said he is the train, that's what I thought of right away. Gabe Jacas is a lot of fun.
Phenomenal football player. Another guy, I just go, no way he doesn't go in the second round. No way.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I think he is going to, like you said, the high floor is really going to make people love him.
We're going to take one more break. When we're back, we still got honorable mentions to go through in this loaded edge class.
On DraftKings Sportsbook, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the app and use promo code CORNERBACK when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours.
Let's take a look at the odds for edge players to be drafted in the first round. I do not agree with a lot of this.
I mean, this is what I was just referring to. I keep seeing stuff like this with Keldric Faulk, And okay, but I also, the fact that he's, that high up there is
that
crazy.
He's more than double likely to go in the first than Mesidor. I would flip that, number 1.
100.
I think Zion Young at plus 150. I think Zion Young has a very good chance to be a first-round pick. It goes back to our combo, like NFL coaches will like him more than the general person.
Exactly. To me, Connor, you're spot on. If there's a bet to be made here and you want to make money, throw the money on Zion Young right now.
That's crazy.
And you said it with Mesidor. It certainly would flip Mesidor with Faulk. I would put Faulk way down the list, really. Yeah. We just talked about TJ Parker. I feel like you want to throw money on him, too. He'd have a chance. Again, we said, I don't know. But Zion Young, to your point, that's the one. I will be freaking floored if we're sitting on the barn draft night and we get to pick 20 through 32 and Zion Young doesn't go there.
And Faulk's gone.
Shocked.
That would make zero sense to me, and we will have a reaction to that from the barn. A strong one at that. We got a couple more honorable mentions to go through. How about the other Texas Tech edge rusher, Romello Height, Chris? He pops on film across from David Bailey.
He totally does. This is, to me, one of my, pleasant surprises, one of my favorite watches. Like, if you ask me a guy who you went, who's somebody nobody's talking about that maybe has a chance to be a star in the NFL, a la like a Nick Bonito, right?
Day two
blows up. It would be Romello Height. Romello Height, I think is, and I think you would agree with this, he's one of the more gifted pass rushers in the draft. Now, the concern is going to be the size.
Yep.
He's 239 pounds, so that's a problem. There's no doubt about that. But, his combine times, 4.64, 1.63. I watched the film and then brought up his profile, and I was like, what? There's no way. He ran a 1.6310. There was a number of snaps where I looked at it and I went, he gets off the ball better than Bailey.
He does.
Right.
He's sometimes better in space than Bailey.
Yeah, well, he's
smaller
really
than Bailey.
bendable, pliable.
Yeah, right.
He's got the incredible, all of that stuff. So that's where you love him. For his size, his play strength is phenomenal. It is. I really was amazed by it. He handles his own against bigger people and sheds blocks at a level that you would not expect somebody that's 239 to do that. So that's where you loved it. But, the bend, he can win in the run game and the pass game with his body in crazy positions, right? I talked about the play strength. He's got good hands and upper body. Wins a lot of wrestling matches. For a guy that's too, we're stuck here. Who's gonna block who or get off the block here? I win. I got off. So that's what's amazing. And then, he's got to be in the right situation.
That's it.
Right? He's another guy that I'd go, you want him to kind of be in Seattle, schemish, wide 9. You don't want him taking on run game duties a whole lot because that's not going to be one of his strengths.
Yeah, I think teams are trying to figure out how to stack him up because there's all the good on film, like you said, and it's really good.
Yeah.
I think he's furious off the ball. You see the dip, the bend.
Yeah.
Here's some of the reasons why he's not talked about in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, let's hear it.
He'll be 25 on draft night, and it's not like Mesidor, where Mesidor was a defensive tackle that converted and was a pretty good edge player for a while there.
Yeah.
He was really a 6th-year breakout.
Right.
He was at Auburn, I think, for 2 years. He was at USC, I think, for 2 years. Then his 5th year was at Georgia Tech, where he played and he was starting to show signs. And then his 6th year at Texas Tech, he blew up. I had a spring sheet where he weighed 228 last spring.
That's what worried me about the combine times.
The 239 weight at the combine was, I think, him like, I have to get to 239.
That's what worried me about the combine
He's
time.
faster, like you said, than 4.64, but he doesn't play at 239.
Exactly.
It's role specific.
Yeah.
So
that's what I thought.
But, man, a good football player is a good football player.
Good football player is a good football player.
That's the tricky thing.
And, you see. And maybe he's one of those guys that's kind of one of those hybrids. Maybe he's a little bit of stand-up linebacker, pass rusher.
Playing space, too.
And just playing space. And then just go, be 230 or 229 and get back to running 4.55 instead of the 4.64, 1.63 that, you saw and went, wait, you look way faster than on film.
Well, the next guy is built for that role because he's done it. Jaishawn Barham at Michigan. He transferred from Maryland. Played a lot of off-ball linebacker, and finally this year, Michigan started to give him a lot more edge snaps, Chris.
Yeah.
I think that's his long-term home.
I agree. I feel like I heard about the other guy on the edge more.
Derek Moore.
More, yeah. I feel like I heard more kind of in the lead up and during the season. So, like, Barham was one of those, when I turned on the film, I was like, oh, whoa, wait, this guy's better than Moore.
Yeah, he absolutely is.
I mean, this is another guy, but really very few weaknesses when you break it down. First step, all that good, does that, right? You see that. The strength at the point of attack as far as just being there, the wrestling matches, setting the edge. Like, you don't have any worries about that. You know, again, has the flexibility and the pliability we talk about. He's twitchy. He can redirect and reaccelerate, is very impressive in the run game, or have to cut and make a move and go around a guy and then go get the ball carrier. I mean, I found that all to be. And then he sells out to make plays like we talk about. He's kamikaze. He is like, I'm going to throw my body around.
Almost too much where he misses sometimes.
He will sometimes.
Yeah.
He goes for the kill shot.
Yes.
I mean, he goes for that.
He's a lunatic.
He's a lunatic. I agree. And that's where I love him. But I think this is, again, it's maybe lack of sex appeal, but one of the safer, higher floor guys in the draft. And would not be shocked to see him go late second round. That's kind of where I saw it to be.
I'm with you all the way. I thought as a true 3-4 stand-up guy, which he hasn't gotten a big chance to do, like, he could be a borderline star level player. 34 and an 1/8-inch arms, great athlete.
Yeah, yep.
I mean, he's got the mindset.
He definitely has the mindset. I get to meet him at the combine. Total pro guy, like I could tell. In Michigan, you know. Again, there's a reason they're Michigan. Here's another thing I love. You know, I wrote, you know, as the bend is good, but it's not great. Can win with speed to quick, right? He does do that. He can make little moves on the tackle and get them and win inside or outside, do it like that. Here's another thing I just wanted to know that I kind of peeped a little bit. Plays middle linebacker on the goal line.
Right.
When I saw that, I was like, well, that tells you something.
That he's tough as hell.
And he's got instincts to
Yes.
go. And they know that in the goal line, it's like, yeah, you've got a 240-pound running back running downhill. We need the craziest mofo that'll hit anybody right on the 1-yard line and stone cold them and stop them there.
It's a great call.
And to me, that was one thing that I went, see, this tells me Wink in Michigan thought he was instinctive and the man and physical and won't back down from anything. And that's what I certainly like about those kind of guys.
Our last honorable mention.
Yeah.
We have to get to R. Mason Thomas from Oklahoma. Another one of these undersized speed rushers.
Yep.
I thought, Chris,
go ahead.
I thought he had the best, like, speed off the edge, no momentum lost bend.
Yes.
Like, so guys can bend, but it's like I took a step inside, then I took a step outside, and I'm bending. R. Mason, with a long runway, can just run as fast as he needs to and bend all at once and never loses a step of speed.
It's one of the fourth lines I write on here. I go, he's got good bend around the edge. I mean, really good.
Yeah, it's
he can bend and not lose any speed, and you know only the top ones can do that. I mean that's rare. So yeah, with that, and then for his size, again, another one like we just talked about with Romello height. You just go, I mean, for 241, he is strong as hell. Now he's going to lose some matchups no matter what. I don't care how strong you are against some tackles and double teams and all that. But his bend is no doubt some of the best in the draft. I did not, I guess the overall speed of the athlete and the combine numbers were kind of like a little weird.
It's almost a 4.7.
I was shocked by that, but then when I saw him open up a few times, I was like, oh man, yeah, his long speed is not very good. He is all about that first 5 yards and that all that ability right there. But he's another guy I think we talk about where you go, yeah, he has to be a wide 9. You don't want to put too much run game responsibility on him, right? The size is going to scare you a little bit more, but one of the best pure pass rushers in the draft. But the arm length, the size, right? It has to be the right defense. He's a guy where I don't think he goes in the second round, but maybe later in the third, early fourth. That's kind of how I viewed it.
I think the thing for him is he's 240 pounds in the front seven, which is tough with your hand in the ground. And he got hurt this year.
Yeah.
And you look at it and you go, man, like when he's healthy, he's right. But when you're that size, you're probably going to
get hurt,
get banged up. And he plays hard.
He plays
like
hard.
I tip my cap to him. He plays like he's 260 pounds.
Got great legs.
Yeah, always
great
built,
muscle tone.
Very built.
All Sims draft team in the legs and department there. I loved all of that.
I think he came back for the playoff with like a serious quad injury. Like he's all about football.
He's all about ball.
He's tough, but yeah, there's just physical limitations with R. Mason Thomas.
Yeah, but I mean, damn. I mean, what is that? How many guys have we talked about out there? 10, 11 guys that we're all kind of telling you like they're all going to be probably off the board in day 2.
We had 8 honorable mentions after the top 5.
So there's 13 guys that, I mean, you almost look at it and go, yeah, I'd almost be shocked if our Mason Thomas might be the first one I talked about here to go, okay, yeah, I don't know if he goes day 2. It might be early day 3. But still, if he went day 2, I'm not going to be surprised. So this is a damn good group right here.
We got some comments and questions from the homies. Going back to Arvell Reese, Stubby Juan Kenobi said, my only issue with Reese at 1 is in the biggest games, he doesn't edge rush. Watch the Miami game. I forgot he was on the field. You can't say that about Bain at all. He shows up every game, every snap.
Yeah, well, okay, there's some context to that. Okay, so first off is, I mean, he does play middle linebacker. We know that. Also, in some of the biggest games, Indiana, Miami, what are they famous for? Running the ball up the freaking middle. So they were a little bit like, hey, wait, we don't want you up there. We need you right here, because they just want to smash mouth run the football. So I think you got to take that into account too. And yeah, as I've said yesterday, Stubby, you're not wrong in what you're saying there. Bain is more consistent on the edge. Just as with Arvell Reese is a little bit of a projection. It's a little one of those where I just go, hey, the guy's a physical freak. I saw enough evidence to go, he can do it at a really high level. And if you're just going to make me put or bet the house on what guy in 3 years is going to be the best pass rusher of the group, I'm going to bet Arvell Reese. That's what I'm going to do.
Anthony Blakely, $3.99. Arvell reminds me of Dre Greenlaw in body type and hard hitting.
Ooh, well, there is that for sure. I think he's bigger than Dre Greenlaw.
He's about 4 inches taller.
Yeah, I mean, it's a much bigger than Dre Greenlaw. I'm going to pull up Dre Greenlaw combine here just to check it out.
He was 5'11 and a half, 237
so
the combine. Arvell is already about 6 pounds heavier on play weight, and he's taller, but it's because of the play speed and the way they hit that he's saying that.
Yeah, the aggression.
Like, it's like, whoa, how did you get there and do that?
Exactly right. Well, it's the heavy hands, the aggressiveness, the kamikaze what we talk about all the time. But, Anthony, I will just say this. If you saw Arvell Reese walk in the room, you'd go, oh, my gosh, that's not Dre Greenlaw, okay? You'd go, holy crap. Arvell Reese's shoulders are at the top of Dre Greenlaw's head. I mean, and they're like this. I mean, they're where you're like we talked about yesterday, in a year, he's going to look at weights and you're going to be like, whoa, he's 251 now. And he's ripped still. So that's what you look at. This is a true freak of nature in Arvell Reese.
T-Hawk Reynolds said, to me, what's scary about a 25-year-old rookie, and this is about Akheem Mesidor, is that when he was playing college football, he had a huge advantage over 18 and 19-year-old kids. Now, that's not to say that means he's not going to be good. But it's similar to me as scouting a dominant D3 player. I don't worry about any of that second contract stuff. I only worry about whether or not it's fool's gold that you're looking at.
Yeah, I know those are all valid points, and you're not wrong in that's an advantage. I mean, I think about it all the time, especially at a position like quarterback. I'm like, damn, you let me play with my second year in the NFL when I was 24, and I'm like a young college player still.
Yeah, what were you, 22 when you declared?
Yeah, I was. Let's see, I got drafted at 22 when I got drafted when I was 23. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Which now you have 25-year-old quarterbacks.
I get it, but yeah, I understand that. I think the thing that we come back to is that I saw him, and yes, mentally he's got some advantages. He's more mature that way. But at the same time, you get to see him against some of the best tackles in the nation, and he just whips ass. And there's just no physical limitations there that way. And I think that's where you come to it, to where you just go, I think this is one of those scenarios that'll work out.
Rich Ranger Rich said, David Bailey is bigger, stronger, longer arms, bigger hands, and has led the nation in total sacks and TFLs the last 2 years. Reese only had 1 TFL and 0 sacks the last 6 games.
I hear you. I know what you mean at Rich Ranger Rich. At Rich Ranger Rich. That's a good one there. Yes, I hear you. And I like David Bailey. And I said this yesterday, and this is where I wish some people would actually watch what we say instead of just looking at a graphic of rankings, because I tried to give that context there. David Bailey, it was tough to put at number 4. The biggest reason I put him at number 4, I understand some of the pass rush stuff he does as good or better than some of the people in front of him, but we talked about the complete player. I also was going, no, there's some things about Bailey where I feel like he has to be in a certain system to a degree that I didn't feel that way with some of the other guys.
Yeah, and I think, listen, it's not saying sacks don't matter, because they do. And I'm not comparing this player to player right now.
Yeah.
But Danielle Hunter is a very different player, but just the point about sacks, getting caught up in box score. Danielle Hunter started 23 games for LSU in college. How many career sacks do you think he had?
Let me see. I want to say it's like 3.
4.5.
Yeah. I remember this at the time because I really didn't like him too. And I was
Neither did I.
He was my first lesson in, you know what, shame on me because I saw it when I played, to go, when guys like this get in the NFL atmosphere, they change a little bit. He was my first one. When I talk about self-scout thyself, he was one of my first self-scout thyself to go, where did I miss on him? Why did I, and it's more about the human necessarily than the actual what you see on the field that kind of makes that transition better.
Yeah, and Pete makes a good point to me. Adafe Owe just got paid $100 million.
Exactly.
He had zero sacks in his final college
Exactly.
season.
Remember, that was a big thing?
Yep.
Here's another thing we got to take into account with sacks in college football. You could play games, and you know this, you could play a game and go, wait, there was 65 plays by the offense, and there really was only 3 or 4 plays where you actually had a chance to rush the quarterback and go, wait, the quarterback's going to be in the pocket and read downfield. Everything is RPO, screen, run up the middle,
yep.
RPO, where you go, yeah, exactly, where you go,
crazy.
There's no real pass rush play here. So you could watch certain edge guys and go, that's 3 games in a row where he played a quarterback who can't play in the pocket, he can't throw. As soon as the first guy's not open, he just runs. And there's very limited opportunities to actually get a sack. And that's what you got to take into account, too, when you evaluate this college football.
Mikey Dean said, can you edit out the Zion Young segment, please? I hope he falls to 31. He's my favorite player in the draft.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 31 would be
I don't know
good.
if he's making it there.
I
would
doubt
actually take the no. I think I will die on the hill that if he's there at 25 for the Bears, they almost have to take him.
I would be shocked if he's
perfect
there
for
at
them.
31. I would be shocked. I'm with you in that way. I mean, he to me, again, it's a physical freak with more potential to be reached there.
Realish Straight Truth Nocha said, nobody is perfect in rankings, but I wanted to ask Chris about his love of Tyree Wilson. What happened to him? I don't think anybody even heard of him.
Yeah.
It has been a weird, like when guys are top 10 picks and it doesn't work out, all you do is hear about it. With Tyree Wilson, it's just you don't hear anything. Well,
no.
he was hurt a lot, which was always the concern.
That's been the big problem. I mean, I would say that's the big thing. Now, again, a little bit like we talked about, where, he obviously was not the number 7 pick. He had the foot injury. It set him back. He is their starting edge guy.
I was going to say, played 17 games last
when
year.
we talk about sometimes when we go, when we say that guy, we go, well, his bust is he's your starting defensive end for years and years. Right? And, yes, from what it looks like, Tyree Wilson just never really got the explosion that I thought. I honestly don't think he looks as explosive now as he did before the foot injury at Texas Tech.
Huge deal.
I will say that. I don't think it looks quite the same. But he's still big and strong, and he's a guy that we talk about, like in a lot of these guys, where you go, his worst play is he's just a stalemate. And I think that's the positive thing. But, I had high aspirations for him. I think a lot of people in the league did. I really did. I mean, back in then, if you wanted full transparency, I was like, what? Him or our guy down in Houston?
Will Anderson.
I was like, I'm taking Tyree. I don't trust the Will Anderson.
Yeah.
But circumstances changed. Will Anderson, I think, played his last year a little too heavy because they asked him to do some different things at Alabama. We didn't get to see the true picture that way. And, that's one where I definitely was wrong. Tyree Wilson, not quite the force I thought he'd be off the edge.
That's been a weird class because Tyree went 7th, and it hasn't worked out the way they hoped. Lucas Van Ness went 13th.
Oh, yeah, you get another one.
That's another, big.
Totally.
We're excited about what he could be, and it just hasn't been that.
No, it is not.
Will McDonald at 15 has been up and down.
Yeah.
But
he's going to get paid, Will McDonald.
And
he's one of the best. He's a good pass rusher.
He's way better than the two
I
taken
missed
ahead
on
of him.
Tyree, but I was telling people at the time, Will McDonald is going to be a star or a stud. So I'll take that one to make up for my Tyree Wilson.
I think with real football players around him this year, Will McDonald's going to have a good fourth
year.
season.
Yeah.
Then Miles Murphy brought up Felix on a DK.
See, it was that group right there. That's where I go. Zion, Young, TJ Parker, they're better than those guys right
Keon
there.
White was in that draft.
Totally.
Tuli Pelotu's been better than a lot of the guys taken ahead of him.
Yeah, and he was what, mid-second?
He was the 54th pick in that draft.
Yeah, okay, so later in the second.
Yeah, late second, yep.
All right.
Yeah, another loaded edge class. We got through a lot of names.
We got through a lot of names. I think you all know that you can expect that in the first 2 days of the draft. You're going to hear defensive edge guys go. It's special that way. So if your team needs one, this is the draft for you. I hope everybody enjoyed. That's it for Chris Sims Unbuttoned with Connor Rogers for the week. We'll be back Monday live, 10 a.m., YouTube. Safeties, fun group.
Oh, good group.
I mean, we're going to have probably a follow-up show on honorable mentions the next day. It's one of the deeper ones. It was fun to watch. There's a lot of good ones to talk about. You know where to find us, though. Subscribe, rate, review. All right, we'll see you Monday. Have a good weekend. Be safe out there. Connor, thanks as always.
Great
You
stuff.
the man. All right, peace out, homies. We'll see you.